I lost my father to cancer, but you know, he was when we lost him, he was 71 years of age. And so I never thought about a child having cancer. I knew that they had, but I hadn't put a whole lot of thought into that. So to tell you the truth, I knew very little.
I'd really not even thought about childhood cancer. You would see a commercial on TV, but you never think that it could affect your child or your family. Cade was diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer in January of 2011. He was 7 years old. He began complaining of pain in his leg, his knee, and taking him to the doctor, no one could figure out what it was. They kept saying that nothing was wrong with him. They couldn't find anything. The x-rays showed nothing. They finally had diagnosed him with rheumatoid arthritis. The pain just would increase, and nothing was helping it. And we loaded him up and took him to Cook's emergency room, and they found the tumor in his knee. And by that time they had found it, it was already stage 4, and it had metastasized to the rest of his body, to different places, in his lungs, his ribs.
I was diagnosed with rhabdomyosarcoma, and that is a type of bone cancer. And it was near my pelvic area is where the tumor was located. And after we removed the tumor, they knew that it was malignant, and that started my journey of chemotherapy and radiation. As
a parent, you want to protect your children, and no matter what. I mean, but cancer's a different opponent. You know, you're always playing on cancer's terms, and I knew that it was not the same kind of, it was a threat to my child, but it was not a threat from someone or something that I could touch. It was, you know, it was a threat of a disease.
I remember when they rolled him back into surgery, I was just hoping that they would come back saying it was wrong, that it wasn't cancer, it was just a tear or something with his knee. It was a shock, unbelief.
Cancer it's a beast. It's tough, and it's hard to deal with, and it was really hard to go through all of that.
I was scared. I was terrified. Didn't know where to turn. Didn't know what to do. You know, of course, my wife and I, all we had was one another, and so we pretty much took strength in one another.
I said, "Daddy, does this mean I'm not going to get to run track now?" And he said, he just told me, he said, "We'll see. We got to take this one step at a time." But that was my very first thought. I didn't even think about death or the road and the journey I had ahead of me. It was just about sports at the time, because that's where I was as an 8th grader and where I was in my life.
His treatment consisted of long stays in the hospital. It was every other week. Is either a 5-day stay or a 2-day stay.
The medicine they give you for cancer is so hard on your body. It's so hard to go through that. You just experience so many ups and downs. One minute you might feel great, the next minute you might not. And chemotherapy for me was really hard. I was really sick all the time, and I absolutely dreaded going to treatment. I cut my hair to about the length it is now, and then it just was coming out by the handfuls. I mean, one strand after another, and so then we cut it to like a boy haircut, and then it fell out after that. And so that was really hard for me.
As parents, we were really scared. And all the nursing staff said, "Megan, we need some really good results. We haven't had good results lately."
You know, Cade's last day of his initial chemo, that we thought we were hoping that we wouldn't ever have to go back, and we walked outside and I said, "Cade, one more picture, we're done, we're out of the hospital." And he just raised his hands up and he's like he was done, he was free, he was out of the hospital. I want people to remember Cade as he was full of life, he was fun, he loved to make movies, he was always making movies. Even that was the one thing that he could do during treatment. You know, we had to be away from people, so if his counts were down or they were low, but he would make movies. He would make the whole family play a role in his movies.
Anytime that your child's had cancer or anybody in your family's had cancer, anytime a bump comes up, anytime something that feels different comes up, you worry. So being cancer-free means something different to people outside the cancer community than it does those inside the cancer community.
If I could give advice to a family in this situation, is to never take one moment for granted. Cherish each moment.